On this week's episode of Three Cups and a Dash of Spirituality, it is our 1 year anniversary, and we're talking about all the stories and experiences we had in the last year and what we're excited to talk about. Play the music. Welcome back to another episode of Three Cups and a Dash of Spirituality. And it is our 1 year anniversary.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Hello, Michelle and Stacy. How's it going?
It's going well. I got to show off my little celebration moves here. Woo woo!
Woo!
Yours are way better than mine because I'm just like, woohoo!
Oh, come on. Get more excited than that. Bring up this energy.
What are we talking about today, Michelle?
We're talking about this is our 1 year anniversary. Kind of what you introed. What was that?
Did we have questions, like listener questions or something?
No, I just thought it would be fun to kind
Like
of
recap
look back on
everything.
the past year and
Cool.
kind of where we've gone, where we've seen growth, what we've liked about it, what we've learned. So I do have a few questions.
I can tell you where I've seen growth.
Do it.
My tattoos have grown since our tattoo episode.
Yes, they have grown. And now I cannot imagine you without tattoos at all. It fits you so well that I really, it's like you are, it's like there she is, there's Stacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've looked back at some random pictures that pop up on like my Facebook memories of me like having very few tattoos, and I'm like, oof.
It's
I
not
can't
you.
even imagine it.
It's not you, right?
It's not. Yeah.
It's
So that's where I've grown.
Yes.
Well, not exactly what I was talking about, but kind of part of it. I mean, like, let me just ask this question because I don't even know if you can do it. How many tattoos do you have? Can you give an actual number? Do they just run into each other and one becomes the next and it's just the vibe?
So what I can tell you is my sleeves, my back, both of my sleeves and my back piece are all connected. So I guess if you were looking at it as a number, that would be kind of one giant tattoo. Outside of that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably close to 20. I don't even know. Yeah, because I've got my fingers too.
Okay, well, why don't we, jump back almost a year ago? We had an episode about tattoos. Are you still feeling that everyone has a spiritual connection or a connection to your soul?
Absolutely. So a lot of it has changed too. So that's kind of a really cool question. So on my left arm, which I'm working on the sleeve of right now, I have ivy growing up it, and ivy actually represents, growth in challenging situations because we know ivy can grow pretty much anywhere. It's the symmetry that's created within it that actually can show the growth of the universe and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different symmetry that's happening now, and I don't know if you can see it, but
yeah, I can see
like
it.
a
all
mandala,
of the shapes.
almost.
I
Is
love
that
it.
what it's called?
This is not a mandala. I have a mandala on my back, but this is something that's called something a little different, but it basically represents the growth of the universe and stuff like that. So yes, the answer to your question is yes, all of my tattoos still continue to have that spiritual meaning. Even the ones on my middle finger that I like to show off.
Don't show
Let me
off
see.
here.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Just
Of course.
let me
One of them,
see it.
I won't. One of them says this is the symbol for mindfulness,
Oh, I like it.
and this is the rune for wealth.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you might show it a different way, so thank you for showing it that
I
way.
can
I
be
wouldn't mind it the other
polite.
way. I wouldn't mind it the other way. Come on.
That's what happens when I'm driving down the road.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I've actually, since this podcast has started, I have gotten 2 tattoos, both spiritual in nature, one connected to Archangel Michael, his sword, and it has a butterfly in it, and that's transformation. And then one connected to my zodiac sign, which I'm a Gemini, and the moon I was born under. So, kind of stepping
I love
into
that.
that authentic part of me. And it's a representation. Nobody can take it away. It just shows who I am. So I love that episode. That was so much fun.
Love that. It was. That was a fun episode.
So, Carissa, is there an episode that you can recall that we've recorded that you love or has
Well,
spoken to you?
in regards to growth, and this one was just what the last one or two before was the Galveston trip of that's where I learned a lot. I learned to be patient, settle, and be open to different experiences. Because I learned that community is totally different. Every community is different. Some want to cross spirits, some don't, some honor them. It was just, I don't know, it was really cool. And I grew up, going to Galveston. So that was, I guess, really shocking too.
Yeah, your backstory's connected to it, and then so much growth just happened when you were
Mhm.
recently there.
I never would have thought it's a spiritual island, but it does have it is pretty spiritual.
Well, I've enjoyed.
I was gonna say, what about you, Michelle?
Oh my gosh, I put myself on the spot now. I started to say I've enjoyed, and then I'm like, I need a minute because I've had so much fun recording all of them. But I think one of my favorite episodes was the very first one that we recorded, where we gave people uh, a glimpse of who we are and how different we are. I think in that one I called myself a clueless psychic, and I think a year later I wouldn't necessarily say clueless is the right word. It's just I'm learning to step out of my own way and let it unfold without the pressure of me thinking I need to have the answer right now. And a year ago, I couldn't have said that. A year ago, I just was so frustrated because I didn't think I understood things well enough. And um, yeah,
How cool is that, Michelle? How cool is that?
Apprehensive psychic, reluctant psychic. What would you say?
for me right now,
Uh-huh.
if I had to change the title right now, I think I would say evolving psychic.
Evolving?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
I'm
that's
ready
I
for
love
the
it.
adventure to continue to unfold. And I really work hard, and much thanks to both of you, to try not to put pressure on it and to just let it unfold and go where it takes me. I'm never going to have all the answers, so I'll be grateful for the ones I have.
And it makes life fun,
It
not
makes
knowing all
life,
the answers,
yeah,
right?
a lot of fun because when you have those aha moments or those
Mhm,
experiences where you're still like jaw drop, like, did that actually just happen?
mhm.
It makes life exciting. It makes it cool.
Astra just burst in, so I figure she might as well join the podcast this time. Can you come here?
She might as well.
Yeah.
So, Stacy, you were correct. You said that you were the lifelong psychic.
Oh.
Would you? Oh, there's Astrid.
Hi, Astrid.
Hi, Astrid.
Gotta show her off a little bit.
Would you change that or update your adjective?
I don't know. I mean, what do you got? What do you ladies think? I don't know. The blunt psychic?
No, you're not an asshole. You're not a narcissist.
You're just a down to earth psychic.
I like down to earth.
Yeah,
I dig
I
think
do.
that's a great one. And Carissa, you said you were the stubborn psychic. Do you still feel you're stubborn?
Stubborn.
How would you classify yourself after a year working with us and recording these episodes?
I'm getting more flexible.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good
thing.
one. Flexible
Flexi-
psychic.
The flexible psychic. Yeah.
Michelle, what was yours? I'm sorry, you just said it.
Oh, the
Evolving. Thank you.
Evolving.
Thank you. It's such a great word that it just went in my brain and right out of it.
Well, hopefully in a year when we're doing our next celebration, we'll remember these because
Probably
I
not.
struggled there. So when we started the podcast, I know I had a vision of what I wanted it to be or the message that I wanted to come across, which I'll share in a moment. But for you, Stacy, is there something that you wanted to bring to the surface for listeners, for yourself doing this podcast? Did you have a goal?
Actually, I did. I think for the podcast, my goal or my hope was to make the intuitive experiences, psychic abilities, all of these things that, people do work through more just day to day, rather than being these, you know, terrible horror movie experiences. Like the reality is shifting them into like normalizing these experiences so that people who may not label themselves as intuitive or label themselves as psychics or mediums or anything along those lines realize that it's not a bad thing to have these experiences and it can be normal.
As long as we have a consciousness, we have intuition. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep saying that over and over and over because that's what you're doing, Stacey. You're normalizing intuition.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's your purpose, Carissa, for this podcast. Is that what you wanted to bring to the awareness of others? Just that
Oh,
everyone is intuitive?
yes, everybody's intuitive. Now, is everybody their job to be psychic? No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be a psychic. I don't want to do that job. Do I have mediumship and psychic abilities? Absolutely, but that's not my role in life. When it comes to intuition, though, everybody has it. And when I was doing the connection sessions and I was holding space for them to connect with their loved ones who have passed, then you can't say they don't have mediumship abilities if they're seeing their grandmother right in front of them. Which was a great learning experience for me because I realized, yeah, there is no gift. If you and the other person on the other side, if that's how you want to put it, come together, y'all can come together. Actually, I did it with someone recently, and her mom came through because she was talking about someone who was connecting with her mom who had passed, but she wasn't. And then that happened, and then when I saw her next, she goes, I just want to let you know, thank you again, because I saw my mom came to me 3 times in a row in dreams. Which, again, that means you can't say she doesn't have mediumship skills, you know?
How cool.
Yeah,
How
that's really
cool.
true.
Yeah.
I think
Michelle?
Yeah, I think for me, what I wanted to get across with this podcast is when I started opening up, when I started awakening, you know, I'm changing my whole vibe. I'm stepping into a higher vibe. So mentally, I'm like, this is just going to be easy. It's going to be so easy to do because my vibration is higher. I'm becoming a better person. And when I found the struggle there in it, like you're shedding ego, you're shedding habits, you're shedding people out of your lives. You're trying to understand this. It was overwhelming. And so I just wanted to be a voice where people they could listen and know that it's normal to be struggling with it, normal to have questions about it, anxiety about it, and just working through it. And with that said, also finding people to collaborate with, people to talk to, listen to other people's point of views, be able to have these conversations. So to find a community, I thought that was really important. And both of those were the reasons why I was so excited, along with working with both of you, who I love and adore so much. And, everyone is intuitive, and let's make this normal.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I love that.
I love that. And then what's your dissertation, Stacy, on?
So my dissertation will be on the mind-body connection to intuition.
I mean, it may evolve, but yeah, but it's
No,
on intuition.
yeah, the hope is to design a research study on potentially like yoga and then test intuitive abilities right after session, prior to a class and after class to see if there's a direct or how there is a direct link between the two.
We are, though, going to start bringing in, which we're all going to read before we do the podcast. We're going to start bringing in research studies on intuition, psychic ability, and all that stuff, so we can show everyone the data, and we can have great in-depth discussions about it. I think that's on one of our lists for coming up soon.
Yeah, we have quite an amazing list of topics coming up, and many things on there that I'm excited about. Stacy, is there something on there that you're excited to talk about coming up in the near future?
I think it would be great to open that up to our listeners as well to see if they have any suggestions or topics that they want to hear us, touch on. I can pretty much step into all of the topics that we tend to choose. So,
And we're going to do another place. And if the listeners have a place, let us know.
Yeah, do we want to announce the
Yeah.
shared location? And we're
Yeah.
hoping Stacy can be there with us, but we're going to New Orleans in September, so that'll be exciting.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. Just letting you know.
Well, I'm coming from Arizona,
Oh, that's true.
but it'll typically be more humid than it is.
It's humid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Austin, humid.
Yeah, in just a couple weeks, actually, this episode will record this episode will be released right after I go to a place in Iowa that's haunted.
Oh, I forgot. That's going to be
I
fun.
will probably share the experience once I've had it, but it'll probably be, early September before you hear it. But yeah, I'll have to process it because a lot of this requires processing.
Axe murder house.
Yeah, the Villisca Axe Murder House in Iowa is where I'm going. So
How cool.
yeah,
That's
it's already
exciting.
reaching out, and I've had a few experiences. So we'll see what happens.
Name one about how it's reaching out to you.
It's the vibe of the house that's
Just the
reached out.
vibe.
I got up in the middle of the night here in my house, and I have night lights here, but all of a sudden the house seemed really, really dark. And I said to myself, this is a Villisca house reaching out right now. And I did get confirmation for that because I was listening to a podcast about it, and all they could talk about, not all they could talk about, they had a whole 2 hours worth of information, but they really stressed the point that the house is dark and the darkness of the house. That's one of the ways it's reached out. It's also
I love
reached out through dates. I mean, I think I talked about that a little bit in
Oh,
the
yes.
episode, how the dates are connected, and TV shows. It's reached out to just like weird coincidences that
Mhm.
could coincide. That was one of my favorite episodes. Now that we're talking,
That was one of
Oh,
mine as
yeah.
well. Let's die.
yeah. Is there anything you want to bring into the podcast moving forward?
More paranormal. I love the paranormal stuff.
I really enjoy the paranormal stuff
Love
too,
it.
but that's the way I've challenged myself this year also because
Mhm.
I hadn't ever knowingly stayed in a haunted location before. Like I felt vibes and stuff, but this one had a reputation. This one was known. Like I had never done that. And so pushing that boundary and then having to process through it, I thought that was really cool. I learned a lot there too.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, I do have another answer for you because you just spun something in my brain, and that is, I would love to get more listener questions this year. I would love to have more. Not sure how
And
we can make that
stories.
happen, but I would.
And
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, I could see us having a whole story episode or a whole listener
Yep.
question episode.
Mhm.
But listeners, you need to send them to us and we'll be happy to answer them or share them. So,
Yeah. And follow us on TikTok. We put up some and Instagram. We put up some fun videos for y'all.
Yep.
Because it's
But
not, we encompass everything: spirituality, intuition, psychology, paranormal, all that kind of stuff.
So, Michelle,
yes.
I know because this is our year episode, and Carissa, I'm coming back to you after, so be prepared. Over the past year since we started this podcast, even outside of your psychic abilities and stuff like that, do you feel like you've had growth in other areas as well?
I think I just continue to become more comfortable with who I am. And in the past, and I still step into anxiety, I still step into doubt, I still have those lingering things there. But overall, I just feel more balanced. I feel like I'm taking a moment of pause before reacting. And I love the growth there because, yeah, I'm a type A personality. And it's nice to just be like, I don't have to control everything. And realizing I don't have control of everything has been a huge victory for me this year.
I love that. What about you, Carissa?
Getting more flexible. And for me, I mean, if I'm not growing, I'm dead. That's going to be till I'm on my deathbed. I'll be growing. So flexibility and getting comfortable with not knowing the answers and just sitting with it, like something was in my house last night and they messed with my computer, and I did a little energy exercise and connected with my guides, and now, nothing's been happening, but who was it? What was it? I don't know, but okay, trust. Because typically when I tap in, I got it. I see the image. If someone's remote viewing, oh, I see who that is. Or if it's a stuck spirit, or I got it in cross, or if it's my guides or a loved one. But if it's, just trust. I think it's probably part control too, I would say.
Yeah.
Was letting go of and being in control and fixing everything. Right? That's the Virgo. Got to fix it all. That's growing, but I'm still growing. That's going to be lifelong for me.
And what a gift that is to keep growing and changing and evolving over life.
Yeah.
Stacy, how about for you?
So I think over the past year, for me, and I mean, you guys know that I'm in kind of a tumultuous situation at the moment, but I have realized how important it is to really learn to value myself and start to put myself, I don't want to say first because I'll always help and do and be, but really do what I need to do to authentically love me and, kind of move forward with that capability and just release things that are no longer serving, I guess. So it's been a year of release and change. And, right now in the just situation that I'm kind of sitting in, I'm learning that it's okay to not necessarily be fully settled, in location where you are or whatever, but knowing that you're making those changes for the positive, it's been kind of cool. It's been kind of cool.
Love
Listen
that.
to this week's tarot card reading.
Oh,
And it speaks to that. I just recorded
and
it. So
this morning, I'm writing a daily devotional book, and this morning the message came through. You'll always have ups and downs, but the goal is to not have highs and lows. And so
Interesting.
and then it kept going, when you love yourself, all parts of yourself, you're able to have more of that homeostasis, that balance of just peaks and valleys, right? Hills and then, but not the extreme highs. Cause then when I got extreme highs, you get great lows.
Right.
And it came back to, though, loving yourself, really putting yourself first where you love others. You're not going to have those big highs and lows. And that's exactly what you said. So that message was probably for you.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of change, a lot of interesting, growth and shifting, I think we've seen over the past year, and it's really cool. It's really,
it
really
is
cool.
really cool. So where do you think we're going to be next year at this time? Like, any predictions?
I'm hoping that we do a live show somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we just keep being authentic us. We keep working together, showing each other respect, because that's so important.
Mhm.
And being there for our listeners, building community. And I'm excited. I really want to talk about cryptids too. I don't know why I just threw that out there, but I did.
Wait, what? Cryptid?
Cryptids.
Tell
Yeah. Like Bigfoot or all
me.
those things. I think I caught a photo of one in South America. So I want to talk about it.
Oh, yes, we do. We need that. That's a great. Yeah, that'll be fun. And I would love to talk more about, aliens and UFOs and stuff like that too at some point, because I find it fascinating.
So it's like you can't deny. Could it be government sending stuff over a lot of those times? Absolutely. However, you can't deny some of all this other stuff.
I mean, we've talked about it in the past. Time and space is created by humans so that we can, actually have conversations and figure life out. But what would make us think that we are all that is here, or
Yeah,
all
when
that is
someone
possible?
says we're the only one here, what it sounds like to me is someone saying the earth is flat.
Or I'm afraid to find out that there are other things. It's to me it feels very fear based for the majority of the time.
For
But
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, because I told you I had activity last night. I looked over and I literally jumped, and I don't jump. And so it was like a brief someone standing there, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I've seen, like, I see glimpses, and I've told you I've seen a family member from the shoulders up, but I jumped, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And now that makes sense with your husband thinking, no, somebody, because it actually did feel like somebody. It didn't feel like a spirit. Because if it was spirit, I'd be like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
It's scary if a human is there.
You're making perfect sense, because in the last episode we did talk about my husband. He saw something in the room. He could tell me what it looked like, but he said there's a person in the room. And
Mhm.
my immediate instinct was fear, because it's a human in the room. Why is this
Right.
person? And then when it
Right.
was a spirit, it's kind of like, that's just so cool, So
Right.
I get what you're saying there. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot coming up in the future. We're excited. We'll keep it fresh. We want this to be interactive. So please reach out, send questions, send stories. All of our information is in our show notes. And
Woohoo.
Yeah, we
thanks
want to
for
hear from
tuning in.
you.
Thanks for listening.
Yes. So I guess I'll say stay classy.
Stay sassy.
And stay badassy. And let's do this next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
we will.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.